welcome back. It's Channel Slevin Views, your one and only Slevin. I'm back with a twofer for today. You already know Star Wars did it to us. Another episode of The Bad Batch, Season 3, Episode 12. Today we got the episode Juggernaut. I think I'm saying that correctly. Juggernaut. Anyway, we start off with the episode with Omega arriving on Tantis. Hold on. Before I even get on that, let me make some corrections. Last week, I opened up 2 Black Series Storm clone troopers, and you guys let me say that one of them was Rex, when clearly it said 5s. I kept thinking it was Rex when I got it for Christmas, and then I saw it was 5s. And I was playing with it earlier, and I was taking his helmet off, and I saw that it said 5s on his helmet. On his head, it says 5s. Come on, bring it in. There you go. You see? 5s. Definitely 5s. So, yeah, no one corrected me. I got a whole bunch of people watched the video and no one said, hey, that's not Rex, that's 5s. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for not correcting me. Anyway, I opened up another one today. We got another Bad Batch favorite. This is Echo. If you see his hand there, so he can open up anywhere they need to go into, or he can hack anything basically. So let's get it started with episode 12 of season 3 of the Bad Batch. It starts off with Omega arriving on Tantis, and when she arrives, she is greeted by Dr. Royce Hemlock. I got it this time. I kept calling him Rampart last week, and it was clearly it was Royce Hemlock that I was speaking about. So Omega was greeted by Royce Hemlock, and he escorts her to link up with her clone sister Emery, and basically they're gonna check her blood, confirm the findings of her M count being compatible. Her blood being compatible with cloning M counts, or something along those lines. They clarify it. He clarifies it a lot more later on in the episode, but yeah, basically that's what happens. Then we switch over to Pabu, where Hunter is still on the bottom of Pabu because he got blown off the ship, or flown off the ship basically. So Hunter links up with Crosshair, and now awoken from his lovely Sleeping Beauty slumber, Wrecker is up, and they're trying to get a they're trying to come up with a plan to save Omega and try to get Omega out of Tantis, the lab that she's in, that she's captive in. Crosshair finally admits that he knows of a way to get there. You already know Hunter's on his ass, and he's like, okay, why haven't you told us this before? And he's like, I don't want to go back there. Like, that's not a place I want to be. I don't want to go back there. And then he finally admits that the information about Tantis will be through Vice Admiral Rampart. Now Rampart comes into play. He wasn't really in this season that much, because remember, he was arrested. I think within the first or second season he was arrested. So Crosshair's like, yeah, I remember him being arrested, and now he's in this Imperial labor camp. So everybody's like, well, Wrecker, Hunter, and Crosshair were like, well, they don't have a ship, so what's gonna happen? Enter Phee on the scene. Thank God for Phee. Phee is such a great asset to the Bad Batch. She's not a part of the Bad Batch, but she's a friend of the Bad Batch. She always helps them out, no questions asked. I love Phee. And so when Phee pops up, he's like, hey, you want to take us to this, base, Imperial base? And she's like, you must be Crosshair. Yeah. Tech's been talking about you. You have such a lovely personality. So she goes, he goes, well, are you going to take us? And she goes, any friend of Brown Eyes is a friend of mine. Brown Eyes. She loves you so much, Echo. She loves you so much, Tech. Ooh. So she, R.I.P. Tech, regardless, but so she admits. Well, not that she admits, but she agrees to help out the Bad Batch get to this Imperial base so that they can speak to Vice Admiral Rampart, who's in this labor camp. If you guys remember what happened, Palpatine set him up, made him look like he was the bad guy, and now he's in an Imperial labor camp. So Phee finesses the fuck out of getting the Bad Batch on the planet. She's a pirate, so she knows ways. She free-falled with the ship. She free-falled into the planet. She had the Batch wilding. Like, they were like, yo, what are you doing? And she's like, don't worry. I got y'all. And she finessed it, and she got them in there. They landed. They found out where Rampart was. They saw that he was in this, like, I'm assuming that's why it's called Juggernaut. I'm assuming that's why it's called Juggernaut, because it's like this big metal tank that is transporting the inmates from their workload or their workstations back into their cell. So they found out, okay, this is where Rampart is. They hijack the Juggernaut. That's what I'm gonna call it. They hijack it, and then they throw all the stormtroopers or the clone troopers. I don't know what they are now, because everybody's mixed up. They throw them out, and in comes Vice Admiral Rampart. And so he recognizes Crosshair, because Crosshair was still a part of the Empire when it transferred over from, like, the Republic to the Empire. He still stayed on as opposed to his brothers, So he recognized him, and he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, are you coming to rescue me? And Crosshair's like, no, we need some information. Where's Tantis? Rampart is like, I'm not telling y'all nothing until y'all get me out of here. And that's that. They stun him. He goes to sleep. They get him out. Phee comes in, swoops in, gets the Bad Batch out. They toss Rampart on the ship, and that's that. They get up. They're in space. Once they're in space, they wake him up, and they're like, yo, what's up? We got you off. Where is Tantis? He's like, well, it's a little more complicated than that. There aren't no specific coordinates. No one knows the coordinates to Tantis, but I know a way. So that's how that section with the batch ends. They are closer to a way to get to Tantis. I'm pretty sure they're gonna link up with Echo, let Echo know, and Rex, and all the rest of the clone troopers that's with them that they've recruited throughout the time. I don't know how long it's been since they've been separated from Echo, but it had to have been a couple of rotations. You like what I did there, right? So next scene is Omega. Omega is with Emery again in the lab, and I want to call him Rampart so bad, but Royce Hemlock comes in just in time for the results of Omega's blood test. So it is proven that Omega's blood is a perfect sample, or an ideal sample. What was said was her blood sample yielded a favorable M count replication. That was which to me, before I go to the next stage, to me, what it sounds like, since Omega's a clone and M counts cannot be replicated, her blood can replicate an M count from another person that has high M count, meaning that they can clone a force sensitive being. So when Omega hears, her blood is favorable for, M count replication. She goes, what does that mean? So here goes Hemlock. He's like, come on, I'll show you what it means. So then they start walking and they go to the vault. She doesn't know what this is, but I remember from the scene when they first took Emery, when the lasers open up, they walk through, the lasers close behind them, the lasers open up again, then again behind them. A very, very highly guarded area in this lab is where the force sensitive or the high M count children are being kept. As they're walking through, you know, Hemlock is informing Omega, like, listen, you are a vital person to this empire. You're vital to this. She's vital to the experiment that I'm pretty sure Palpatine has Hemlock in charge of. So when they open the door, once the vault opens, she sees the children. Omega looks at Hemlock and she's like, yo, who are these kids? And he goes, they are the remaining pieces to the puzzle. And that's how it ends. So what Tantus has right now is Omega, whose blood can replicate M count, and they have children on Tantus that have high M count. They have everything they need, mostly, to succeed in this next experiment. Now we're understanding how Palpatine was able to return. You know what I mean? How did Palpatine come back in like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and the Last Skywalker or whatever, which I didn't really care too much for those movies. But because we're getting all this information from Star Wars, from the Bad Batch, it's kind of making me appreciate it a little bit more, because now I have more information as to how somehow Palpatine returned. The famous line. Somehow Palpatine returned. So that's how we ended with the Bad Batch episode 12 of season 3. Like I said last week, we are going to be ramping up. There was a scene where I saw Crosshair, you know, tell the team like, yo, if we enter Tantus, we all may go in, but not all of us are coming out. And it's giving me like foreshadowing, like, all right, how many Bad Batches are we going to have, Bad Batch members are we going to lose? And what's going to happen with Omega? What's going to happen? What is the ultimate end game? You know, like, you remember Ventress is probably still around. She's like a thief in the night. She's probably around, keeping an eye on Omega. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a potential, you know, not Padawan, but apprentice. So, oof, I'm getting excited. Anyway, I want to end this video at this point. I just want to remind everyone to just like, subscribe, you know, follow. You know, I'll definitely like and subscribe back and follow as well back. Show some support, show some love. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Please let me know when something I'm saying is wrong, especially when it comes to Star Wars. This was clearly 5s. He didn't even have anything on his helmet like Rex did. Come on, guys. Help me out here, bro. I'm new to this. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic rest of your evening. I want to thank you all for the support and the love. Bye.